Good morning, everybody. Jack Leeson with StartupTraining.com. It is 9:21 here. Tomorrow's 9/11. I don't know what, I guess anniversary would be like, what, 24? Pretty crazy. Almost 25 years. Um, so just a big old bid. I'm losing my train of thought here. The title of the video, a larger upside targets here at 65.81. I do think we could potentially go past that, but I do want to back out and kind of mention where those targets are coming from. We had an extension trade or basically support levels that traded at the beginning of August, and that is where our highest target here is coming from, the 65.81. We also had a 50% retracement a few times in here, but most recently on the second, so the beginning of the month. It looks like the beginning of like the last 2 months has led to pretty significant pullbacks that have given us upside targets. And the target from the beginning of the month on the second is going to be a 65.89. So we're breaking out of, highs here. Market continues to go up. That CPI print was, or that print was horrible. We'll see what it is. Tomorrow's going to be another big print. But the sequences leading into the day here. Now, yesterday we came down into our supports. We rallied into 50% retracements and then begin to come into an extension from there. We traded it. I think we actually traded during the lunch hour, again out of the lunch hour into the end of the day, and then again in the overnight session. Oops. That anchor too high, traded a beautiful touch of its 38% retracement, and now we've moved up into um, targets. Now, as we go into the day, I'm going to be looking for, let me get rid of the extended session here, go to a 5-minute chart. As we go into the beginning of the day, this last extension here that traded um, on at 315, we're going to be opening well above that negative 100. We're at 65.57. The negative 100 is 65.31. If I adjust this draw here, yep, this extension as well is going to open above the negative 100. So if we're hanging up at highs, the most aggressive draw is going to be yesterday's like 355 high to high. So right now, if the high ends up, let's just say the high is at 57s here, that's going to be the anticipated support pullback, which is basically a retest of the highs we broke out of this week. So that'll be the sequence I'll look for like a really aggressive continuation. Otherwise, if we're getting deeper pullbacks, we could eventually get the 50% retracement from Monday's low to high. That's also going to be a setup and would basically take us into a gap fill. For the NASDAQ, very similar situation where we have that extension from the 11 o'clock high to high, trade multiple times, and once again to target over here. If we were to draw that same anchor new high to that overnight high, the 50% retracement is a 23,923. 23,923, and that's as aggressive as I'm going to get. Higher time frame upside targets are 24,076 here for the NQ. So that's what I have for those two markets, and then we'll go to gold and oil. So I actually did some, if you guys saw, I made a video last night and I put it on YouTube, just kind of reviewing my trades for my straight to funded Tradeify challenge. And I talked about gold and oil, and they really set up yesterday. Sometimes the best time is different times of day. Like the different opens, whether it's the open after the market, Asian Open, European Open, New York Open, it gives the market a structure to like change. And yesterday we ran into this 50% retracement in the gold market, which I said, and have continued to just trade it from the long side. Now, not every setup's going to work, but every setup right now is at least bouncing for a bit. And we had the lows of Friday last week trade halfway back on Monday of this week. We ran to a negative 100. That is literally the high of yesterday. And then we pulled back into that same setup in the Asian Open, or I should say, as the New York market reopened at 6 o'clock New York time, very large candle here. That candle is 11 points. And then we came into a halfway back long and then ran that up to a negative 61, retested that zone, and have been rallying here all night long. So what I'm going to do is draw this low from that swing to high and see if we can kind of get down there at 36.77 area, but continuing to look for gold longs, especially if gold, anytime you have a very bullish market on the daily chart and you get below that lower mid, which is that green line here, basically telling you that the market is in the bottom 1/4 quarter of the day, you want to look for potential longs. You want to look for potential longs. So that is what you're going to want to pay attention to if we ever get below those 36.70s. And you had that reaction, you had a halfway back, you had inverse fair value gaps here, but a bunch of different things that could have triggered longs in gold. And then for oil, I also went over, we traded this full 50% retracement yesterday and also the midpoint. Okay, the 62.57, and then going into the open at 6 o'clock, we traded halfway back, 2 targets, went into an extension, completed targets. We had a same anchor to high, traded at 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we ended up breaking and rotating all the way back down to what I'm going to look for is that full halfway back from yesterday's low to the high here at 2:35 in the morning. We've already tested it. This is going to be a second test as we get below this 63 level, looking for a reversal off of these supports again, or maybe even if we sweep down to the 62.90 level, looking for a reversal sweep off of this support. But because this is a second test, I kind of want to see this area trade through. Maybe we get to like 62.80. So I'm going to look for confirmation, whether it's like a swing mark, fair value gap. I don't really want to go out here and limit this first test. This test you could have limited, and we ended up rallying there for 50 ticks. So that's what I got for the gold and oil markets. Indexes, like I said, they're going to be those extensions, so we're kind of going to be waiting around for those to trade. But that's going to be it. I'll catch you guys in about 15 minutes past the market open. I'll jump back on the microphone and we'll get to talk and see where we're at. righty, straight down. I don't really. I'm gonna go to. I'm gonna use the 245 extension here in the ES, and I'm gonna try the 6536 bid. What is going on? I feel like my ninja is not correct. Russell's actually holding up pretty nice. That is not what I want to see. You can see. Oh, wow. All right, the Nasdaq actually traded at 38 here. I'm gonna bid that 50 24s. All right, make or break here for the NQ. If we don't hold this support level, probably gonna get wiped out deeper. I want to see where we are. We're up 56 points if right now. Still a gap below for us. Yeah, if we can't hold this aggressive extension, then I imagine we could come halfway back from. I mean, the deepest thing would be a halfway back all the way down to like 23,733. And if we don't hold here, I would think that's potentially on the table. This is a continuation area. All right, bidding out of that low. The ES is holding pretty aggressively here. So what I'm gonna do with the ES, we haven't quite traded our setup. I'm gonna take that original 355 high to high. ES is not traded. I'm gonna bid 41s. I don't know if we're gonna get it, but I'm moving my order up. Nasdaq, I got a target about 60 points for my entry. I mean, not this could run harder than that. I don't know. I mean, if the full target here is 24,076, I guess we haven't. I did set a timer for 25 minutes, so we'll see where we're at in 25. I'm not gonna do too much overthinking yet. So I got long CL here. We came back to that bottom of the range and then inverted, moved back higher, and then at the first pullback I got long. Not looking for a big target here. I'm gonna move my stop up. Definitely don't need it further than this. And we've moved my target down to 50 points. And the NASDAQ, been in this trade for a bit. We should be moving one way or the other in the next 10 minutes. Just been consolidating Alrighty, we got that NASDAQ target hit. I just moved my target for 50 points, which is basically the bottomless fair value gap from the overnight session. There are targets larger than above us, but like I said, last night I've already completed. I got a couple trades in last night. I've already actually hit my daily target, so I'm not stretching here, but I'm still in the pits grinding, still out here trading. Um, We'll see if this CL is the only thing I got on. I'm still looking for 63.41. Let me pull up CL on the right hand side of my screen, and I'll show you guys the setup that I took. So my bias was bullish coming out of a touch of this midpoint. Now we got close enough within 2 ticks, and then fair value gap, invert fair value gap, halfway back. This halfway back, I'm just looking to run to the top of the range. And that was my trade here in CL. So we could come back into that next traditional. I'm going to move my stop above break even. We're either going to run to it or we're not. And it's about like a 20 tick trade for me. So I move my stop to break even there in CL. Hope we get up to that 41. Letting the market do its thing. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the Discord. Gold still reacted great off the halfway back long for the day. I missed that trade. 86.7 was the swing low from this morning, 855 to high. Oil, a couple ticks away from my completion. I'm going to move back over to the ES here. I still think that's a valid moving forward for the rest of the day here, guys. I mean, I'm going to be 2 trades and done, but assuming I get my CL profit target. But at any point, we traded the 38 of this extension in the ES. That's going to continue to be what you're going to want to draw. We came right into those extensions. Honestly, when we're in extensions, it makes it a little easier. It makes it a little easier. And there's that CL target. So I'm going to cancel my orders here. That's going to be it for my trades here this morning. I'm just going to take it run. I'm working on building a lot of stuff right now. I'm building a new course. So I have to put some time into that. If I trade all day, I fry my brain. But hour into the day, 2 for 2 during the RTH. And I hit, like I said, I hit a couple trades last night. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. If you guys have any more questions like setups and stuff before I leave, let me know. Otherwise, we'll get back at it again tomorrow. Forever hold your peace. Take care.